Recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios Brisbane on 102.1 FM and broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Z Games. With 10 years experience and over 500 episodes, Z Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture. Want to reach out? Message us on Facebook at ZEVGamesAU. My name is Evie, and you're listening to Z Games. I'm here with
Zahra.
Oh my goodness, there's another voice in the studio.
A brand new voice.
A brand new voice.
In your ears.
How you doing?
Pretty good. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm excited that you are here. How you feeling?
A little bit nervous, but super jazzed to be here.
Well, we were chilling out before we went on now. We were chilling out just before now. And it's good to get to know you better because we met online during the COVID we must distance time, and here you are, Zahra in the flesh.
It's actually our first time meeting in person.
Yeah.
So very exciting day.
What a risque choice I have made. No, it's great to have you here, and I'm excited to be talking about games with you throughout the future that you are with this incredible show, and obviously here at 4ZZZ. Yeah, I'm keen. Actually, speaking of the fact that you're here, Zahra, later tonight we'll be chatting some more about who you are and what games you like. So are you excited for that?
I'm excited to talk about me.
I mean, that's fair, right?
But I'm more excited to talk about video games.
Okay, all right. Fine. I'm usually more excited to talk about me, but all right. Anyway, look, on the show tonight, we'll be talking about the week in gaming news. There's a lot happening, interesting things, as well as interesting things to talk about in the future as well that are coming. After that, we'll be chatting to Zahra and getting to know her better. Apologies.
All good.
Getting to know them better about, what's happening in the world and what, they like to play. After that, we will be hearing from New Game Plus down in Melbourne. We've got Jack, who's done a review on Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team Deluxe. So we'll be listening to that later in the evening. But first, before we get into anything else, let's listen to the week in gaming news. This week in gaming news, Sony has been ordered to pay up $3.5 million after falsely advertising games to Australian customers. The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, ACCC, said that Sony customer service representatives told customers that Sony wasn't required to refund digital currency if it had been longer than 14 days since the purchase. Every time a user would try to purchase a game on the PlayStation Store, an email would be sent asking the user if they would like to top up their digital wallet. Little did they know that these funds added were non-refundable. This notification would pop up when a user would try to purchase a game but had insufficient funds. Chair Rod Sims of the ACCC has said consumer guarantee rights do not expire after a digital product has been downloaded, and certainly do not disappear after 14 days or any other arbitrary date claimed by a game store or developer. Sony has admitted liability and is expected to pay the ACCC's legal costs as well as their settlement of $3.5 million. Hamiko Mori is the Guinness World Record holder for the oldest gaming YouTuber. At 90 years old, gamer grandma plays her way into the record books. Every day for 3 hours or more, she plays games like Call of Duty, Skyrim, Grand Theft Auto, or Nier Automata. She then shares her experiences on YouTube for more than 320,000 fans. Hamiko says that she really is looking forward to getting that PlayStation 5 when it comes out. She also says you can do whatever you want in a game. Games is what makes me motivated in life. Congratulations, Hamiko, on your world record. Freeplay Independent Games Festival starts today, the 10th of June. Freeplay is the world's longest-running independent games festival based in Melbourne and brings in the likes of many independent game developers. With so much from public events, exhibitions, workshops, and awards, the idea behind Freeplay is to bring all from within the games community and alike together to celebrate the artistry of indie development. This year is a bit different, with everything being hosted online. But if you'd like to look at what the schedule is, head over to the Z Games Facebook page for the link to the website with all the details at ZEDGamesAU. Itch.io have a bundle for racial justice and equality. This special deal features over 740 games with a value of over $3,000, all just for the price of $5. This is to raise money to help support organisations that are working directly with those affected by racial injustice, inequality, and police brutality against Black people. All the money raised will be donated to NAACO Legal Defence and Education Fund and Community Bail Fund. If you are looking to support this cause, or maybe you're a developer interested in adding your project to the bundle, head over to the Z Games Facebook page for the link at ZEDGamesAU. That's all this week in gaming news.
Whoa, interesting week in news there. I mean, holy dooly, there's like a lot happening. Sony copping a $3.5 million fine. That's fun, I'm sure.
That's kind of a really delightful thing to sort of watch happen.
Really? Why?
There's been a little bit of a discussion happening with like digital libraries and streaming that's been coming up lately, because like we don't really have physical copies of things anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So it kind of makes me a little bit happy to be like, well, to see people go, well, just because it's digital doesn't mean it's not an actual product.
Yes, that's true. Because I mean, to be able to, it's so not fair for a company to go, well, it's been 14 days and now you like have basically lost your money.
Yeah.
And I don't, if you're not happy with a product, it should, I don't know, I always feel like it should be refundable. But, you know, I've worked in hospitality and retail, and I know when people are just trying to like get away with stuff. But, you know, the Australian Consumer Commission, Competition and Consumer Commission, I mean, we have some really weird retail law and like policies on things in Australia. So, you know, Sony, I guess just have to suck it up.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right, I suppose. Big companies need to take it.
Yeah, I think they can deal with it.
They also have the responsibility. Well, they had a huge, I mean, the full story would probably have taken up like 3.5, maybe much more minutes than that. But essentially, it was going to be a lot more than 3.5 million. They got a deal. Like, they got a sweet spot with 3.5. It was something like 10 million.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was a lot more than that. So, they ended up settling. Like, they managed to get a deal for 3.5 as compensation. I don't actually know if people are getting reimbursed either. So,
well, I feel like Sony can't really complain about it. If they went from 10 million down to 3.5 million.
Look, yeah. And also, PS5's coming out later this year. Everyone will forget about this.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone will just be like, PS5, woo!
Don't worry, in 5 minutes I will forget about it.
Yeah, okay. At the end of this recap of the news, we'll have totally forgotten. I wanted to talk about the itch.io bundle, because, Zahra, you were just saying that it's over 1,000 games now.
Yeah, I've seen, this is just on my little Twitter sphere, but I've been seeing a lot of indie devs contributing their games to the bundle, which has been really exciting to see. Like, just the tiniest teams of like 1 to 3 people are all going, you know what? Chuck it up there. Let's make this a real sweet deal.
Oh my goodness! I've just looked now. So I'm on the itch.io page right now. It is at 1,125 games.
Woof.
Wait, no, sorry.
Wait.
That's wrong. That's content creators. It's actually 1,427 games. That's almost 1,500 games for $5. So that's a value of almost $8,000.
And it's supporting an amazing cause.
Yeah, well, they were, the last I looked, which was probably yesterday. It was under 3 million, and now they're at 3,696,000.
That is quite a jump.
Yeah, they're easily gonna hit 5 million. I mean, for $5, I'm like, look, it doesn't matter who you are, that's a deal.
Just like $5 over 1,000 games. You're pretty much set for life.
Also, if you think, the great thing is about itch, which I love, is that if you think it is worth more than $5, you can pay more than $5. So that's also great with like indie devs. Zahra and I know, you can get a game for free, or you can choose to donate some dollars. So I'm pretty sure if you purchase this bundle and you think that it deserves more than $5, you can totally do that.
If you got an extra $5, throw it in there. Every bit helps, and everyone appreciates it.
Yeah, they do. Also, in other news, E3 2020 officially today/tonight even. Rather.
I think so, yeah, with time zones.
Yeah, whatever is happening in the past is now happening finally for us in the future. Okay, I don't know how that works. But yeah, E3 started. There is a lot to go on. It's all online, so you can check that out. I'm actually taking a look here. Kotaku have an article on it featuring most of the schedule. So there's also some unannounced game release stuff popping up. So you will hear more next week from us on E3. We'll do a bit of a recap. We'll take a look. CD Projekt Red, you've got Sega, Ubisoft, all the big names, E3. It's happening. Just because it's a global pandemic doesn't mean that we still can't gather online and look at game announcements and other things.
I mean, I think we're pretty good at that as gamers.
Yeah, well, we don't go anywhere anyway. Even before now, we were at home praying to be at home more and have a legitimate reason. So, yeah, I guess that works.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. Should be good.
Well, Zahra and I are chilling out in the studio tonight. And Zahra, it's their first time in studio on air on any radio, I believe.
Pretty much, yeah, unless you count one tiny little interview from a Game Jam event.
But that was pre-recorded, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that doesn't really count.
It doesn't count, no. Now you're live and under pressure.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Terrified now.
Oh, okay.
But now we're back to chill. So that's
okay. Wow, that escalated quickly. So tell me, why video games? Why do you like them so much?
You see, my mom didn't like me playing them. So that made them all the more alluring. So I would try to play them as often as I could. And then I met Spyro the Dragon.
Oh, Spyro.
Just took off from there.
Yeah, no, you can't go wrong. So cute. Have you played the new Spyro, actually?
Yeah, that was actually my birthday gift when it came out, because it came out on my birthday. And my friends were just like, Zahra, here you go.
I'm never going to forget your birthday now, because actually, I don't know when the release date is of Spyro. Who I'm kidding.
It's like the 13th November.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember playing it as a kid and being quite terrible at it. But enjoying just the aesthetic of Spyro.
Yeah.
And the cuteness of Spyro, despite my terrible playing.
I mean, I tried playing it now, and I have no idea how child me was able to actually get through the game.
I feel like that way about many games now as an adult. Like, how did I spend that much time?
It's like, I've been through school. I have a full education now. Surely I should be better at the game now. But I'm not.
I've had time to, like, refine my fine motor skills in terms of the controller and everything, and still, somehow, I've come out worse at this game. Yeah, no, I feel that way about Pokemon, actually.
Oh, Pokemon.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah.
So, tell me, I know that Spyro is definitely one of your favorite games, but tell me two other games.
I guess because my favorite's always changing.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say that my current favorites right now are Animal Crossing New Horizons. Just love that good escapism. Just the aesthetic is so cute. I can spend hours in the game just rearranging my file beds. It's perfect right now, especially. And my other favorite game probably is... I'm not too sure. I've been really into Subnautica lately.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, which I've never actually played before. ISO kicked in. So I thought this is a good time to start. And I've just been really, no pun intended, immersed in the experience.
But I've been talking about getting a soundboard. I still need one. Carry on.
Yeah, and one of the really cool things about Subnautica is that people explain the game to me without actually spoiling anything, which is amazing. Which meant that I had a fantastic time finding the story for myself. And it's been really engaging, really mysterious and exciting. And I'm just kind of like, I just think about playing it again the next day because I'm thinking, okay, well, I need to find the next soundbite. I need to figure out what's going on. Why is there, what is going on? This
is all different.
Yeah.
Well, because you obviously have a style or like a pattern with games where it's like, okay, I don't have a favorite game necessarily, but I have like favorite games that I'm into right now. Like what I'm really into right now. Because you were talking about Animal Crossing, and I know Caitlin and Rani are probably overjoyed to hear that because both of them love Animal Crossing. I actually went and saw Caitlin, and she was playing. She was like, oh yeah, and just sort of casually showing off her Animal Crossing like home and her island and everything. And I'm like, you know, I purchased Animal Crossing. I paid the full price, paid it. I was like, cool, I'm going to hang out with Rani and Caitlin. I miss them. I'm alone in the studio. Let's hang, digitally. And I probably have only played like 6 or 7 hours, and I've just been like, no, it's not for me.
It is the kind of game where you're either into it or you're not. There's no in between, I don't feel.
I understand I liked it. There were simple mechanics and simple things that I really hooked onto, but then I couldn't get enough of it fast enough. And that was the sort of the issue, is that it's a game that sort of requires a lot of patience and time. And then I thought about like, I could just, time travel. And then I saw the hatred time travelers have on Twitter, and I was like, you know what?
Wait.
I'm going to step away from that.
Can I just say, time travelers are valid. You're welcome here. Don't anyone tell you anything different.
You're in a safe space to express your time traveling needs.
It is a very slow-paced game, and it's really hard to force it to be any faster.
Makes sense. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know what time traveling is, I'll just preface real quick. Time traveling is when on your Nintendo Switch you basically hard set on the device the time and date so you can actually change it.
Yeah. Which
therefore, you can play a whole day of Animal Crossing and then turn off, stop running the game, go out, reset the time and date.
Yeah.
And then go back in the game, and it's essentially a new day according to Animal Crossing, because it's basing it off of your device, off your Nintendo Switch device. So that's time traveling, and that's time travelers. And there's a lot of mixed opinions on what they do. I've only time traveled a couple of times in general via Switch, and that was when I was playing Pokemon. Because I was curious about some other weather patterns, but
oh yeah.
But I never really did anything, and I went, oh, I feel weird. I don't. So I just went back to the original date.
I've time traveled in Animal Crossing New Leaf on the 3DS.
Okay.
Just twice, because I wanted to sort of experience the season as it was in Australia, because they didn't have that northern hemisphere thing going on.
They only had the northern hemisphere at a certain point there.
Yeah,
that's right. And now they've actually got hello Oceania, we consider you.
We know you play our game. Here you go.
We've seen our sales. We know you purchased them down there. Yeah, well, thanks Nintendo. Took your time, but we'll take it.
We appreciate it.
But also, I really, speaking of time traveling, I know that we've like gone on like semi-tangent, but in terms of time traveling, I really appreciate that Nintendo didn't sort of lock the game, because you can actually go, as a developer, you can sort of seize up the game and make it sort of kick you out or whatever. I'm not sure how they would do it, but if you time travel, it detects it.
Yeah.
And Nintendo haven't done that with Animal Crossing. I really like that they haven't, because you got freedom to play and experience a game how you want to play it, I guess.
Like, the only consequences you can experience with time traveling is to do with the turnip stock market kind of thing. To stop people from exploiting it. I think the turnips go bad when you time travel back in time, but not when you go forward. So there's still a little bit of like freedom there. And if you're not interested in turnips, then just go ham.
Right, that's right. I remember Caitlin's probably out there listening right now going, yes, I told you about the stock market. And I'm like, right, okay, turnips the thing. I remember the explanation as well. Something to do with like, what, turnips were the only choice or something like that? Or like, they happened to be the most expensive at the time, and then people just went with it.
It was one of the quickest ways to earn a lot of bells in-game quite easily.
That's right, which then people can convert into real money, because people are trading bells for things.
Yeah.
It's getting serious out there.
I saw people using real-life money to trade their Animal Crossing villages, and I just want to know, are they okay?
But also, why? Are they okay, and why? In that order. Are you okay? Why did you do that? You know, like, Anyway. Look, people don't have a lot to do, and they're trying to preoccupy their time at home, so I understand that the game's sort of really taken off. Taken off probably more in a way than they even anticipated, because you know, no one anticipates a global pandemic, and you don't anticipate your AAA game to come out coincidentally at that exact moment. So it was fortuitous from a company's perspective. Yeah. But cool. Yeah. I'm glad that you're here talking to me about time traveling.
I'm glad to be here talking about time traveling with you.
Yeah. We'll have an appropriate pretend hug afterwards.
Yeah, social distancing.
Social distancing. We'll be socially appropriate. That's what my mum's calling it at the moment. Time to be socially appropriate, Evie. And I'm like, what does that mean? Was I not socially appropriate before? Sounds like I was doing something, suspect to people.
Yeah, like No. No.
You're like, I'm walking away from that.
No.
Yeah, no. Thanks, Mum. I'll be socially appropriate. You taught me well. Anyway, we are now about to head into a pre-recorded segment from New Game Plus down in Melbourne. Jack, Matt, and Jason talk about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team Deluxe. That is a mouthful of a game name. Anyway, let's have a listen to what they've been doing.
Not all Pokemon spin-offs are created equal. Some, like Pokepark and Pinball, are fun distractions, while stuff like the Ranger series saw something of a cult following in its wake. In the same vein, the Mystery Dungeon series has been dormant since 2015, with fans praying for a sequel, even one a tiny bit better than Gates to Infinity. Nintendo heard these calls, and in an effort to maintain the blue balls of Diamond and Pearl remake hopefuls, they've released a remaster of the Red and Blue dungeons in Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team Deluxe. While it does a good job of inspiring nostalgia of the Red and Blue originals, is that really what we want in 2020? In Rescue Team Deluxe, you have been transformed from a human to a Pokemon, and as the world is falling apart around you, a little bit relatable, a partner Pokemon convinces you to join forces as a rescue team, providing services and rescuing Pokemon in distress. Instead of encountering Pokemon in tall grass as normal, battle and exploration go hand in hand within the procedurally generated dungeons. Battle is pretty straightforward though, and unless you rush through story missions, you're unlikely to face much challenge in the dungeons themselves. However, unlike in the originals, the game has been rebalanced, so that boss fights aren't completely at odds with exploration, at least to some extent. These changes make it a much more pleasant experience at length, where the originals could on occasion be quite frustrating. The problem you can run into after a while is a lack of variety. The same 4 to 5 goals are used in most quests, with only items, locations, and Pokemon changing each time. For the first half of the game, there is ample opportunity to grind and recruit Pokemon, should you be particularly keen to. However, if that's not your thing, you'll find yourself mostly led by the story, which is still a nice departure from the mainline Pokemon series. I've really enjoyed the game's aesthetics, though through a few friends I found them to be somewhat divisive. It's presented in a storybook-like art style, inspired by the title screen backgrounds of the originals. While the game can sometimes seem a little lacking in detail, some smaller features like the white halo around characters and the pencil sketch-like shadows revealed as Pokemon move around the screen delight. The soundtrack has also been updated, with just the right balance of intensity and subtlety, something that previous remasters like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire stumbled with at times. While it's not particularly offensive to dungeon fans, thankfully, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team Deluxe isn't going to blow you away. Dungeon games never really blew anyone away. But if you've just recently gotten through a Let's Go or Sword and Shield and you're wanting more, it's a fun romp for mainline series regulars.
Alright, so Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, whatever the hell it's called.
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team Deluxe was originally 2 separate games.
Yes.
That was cross-gen. It was one on the Game Boy Advance and one on the DS.
Correct.
Weird.
There was not many of those games out there nowadays that did the cross-platform.
No. And I mean, yeah, we'll pour one out for the DS, one of the great consoles.
Phenomenal.
Of all time. Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely fantastic.
I even love the old design because the old it's got to survive a fall out of a man's business shirt pocket. The average Japanese man is 168 centimeters tall.
Oh yeah,
they has to be able to survive a fall from that height to the ground on a crowded platform. That was literally what they.
I have one. It has not. I guarantee. It has fallen
too
apart.
Tall, Gaijin, too tall.
Yeah, true. I'm a bit taller.
Out of all of the iterations of the DS, I think that was the best throwback to Game & Watch as well.
Yeah.
Design.
And Picto Chat, I mean, I love this.
I love the DS Lite though.
Yeah.
DS Lite was phenomenal, and it really, as much as it was on both platforms, I think it was more something to be congratulated that the teams made it feel native on both systems. Like it kind of felt a little, because it was on the cusp, we hadn't gotten so far into DS territory that it was like GBA was so separated. Like when you look at 3D games on the Game Boy Advance, God, they look like garbage.
Yeah, but 2D games on that look amazing.
They look solid.
Like treasure games, like the Game Boy Advance was a solid console.
It was phenomenal.
But it was just when it kind of came out, it was that was when it was really one of those real generational jumps, because we went from these really tiny pixelated screens to not so tiny pixelated screens, but stuff like PictoChat, social gaming, that really started to become a thing with the DS. And I guess it's interesting that that's the game that Nintendo have decided that they're going to remake. Like, because has it got the 2 versions on the Switch, or how do they do it?
It's just one. So they've kind of consolidated. I honestly could not tell you some of the bigger differences between the originals. Right. Like some of the functionality they actually had unique to the DS version, where you could use wireless communication, all the rest of it. So you could, instead of having like rescuing your mate from them dying or trading, like Wonder Trade or whatever the hell it was called on the DS, some of those features have been put online now. So you can, when you die in a dungeon, I'm pretty sure you can kind of like ping Nintendo servers and be like, hey, rescue me. Right now, there are plenty of people playing it, so you'll be able to get rescued. And if, a year or two's time, maybe not. But yeah, there's only one game. It is Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team Deluxe, not Red and Blue. It's just the one game.
Okay. It's not really the first time that they've done this either, or at least for the Mystery Dungeon games, because you also had the Explorers of Sky, which was the next game. Which so it was like Shadows in Time, but it was essentially like the Emerald version of that. So it was the quintessential game, and I highly recommend you pick that up. Because it is a phenomenal game. It's actually a very mature Pokemon story as well. Like a lot of people sit there and go like, oh, Pokemon Black and White was so emotional. It's like, you never played Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time, did you? Gotcha.
And plus, I mean, if you're a furry, Mystery Dungeon's obviously the pick because you play as Pokemon. So like,
how would you know that?
I'm just going off what I've been told. Yeah, the people on this crew, come on, man. Like, let's be real. Like,
Brandon is over there and he's looking at me funny. Yeah. Yes, but I would highly recommend if Mystery Dungeon does well as far as sales go, I really hope, like, pray to God, # make this happen, that Explorers of Sky is next.
Look, they obviously were very keen to maintain the blue balls of those hoping to get a Diamond and Pearl re-release. I think that Explorers of Sky is the next step in that process.
It's just logical.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind either.
I would say the big thing for me is that Nintendo at the moment, after Animal Crossing, have no big games coming out.
It's so weird. It's barren. Yeah. Like, what?
So I wouldn't be surprised if they do a bunch more remakes and then they have, Metroid or Zelda or whatever at the end of the year and then go from there.
thank you, Jack, Matt, and Jason for that awesome chit-chat and review there of Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team Deluxe. Whew, I need to take a breath in between saying the title of that game. Speaking of Pokemon, Zahra and I just had a realization. The Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC comes out, pretty sure, on the 16th of June. I'm just typing that in right now to check. But are you excited, Zahra? Like, surely.
I am excited. I'm just a little bit kind of blindsided because I completely forgot that it was happening, and like the date, and that the date was sneaking up because just everything's been happening so much, and now.
Yeah, well, I also totally forgot because I've been so wrapped up in like meeting you and all the new Z game people that everyone's going to meet over the next month or so. So I've been thinking more about hanging out with people than playing games. Who would have thought that happened to me?
Yeah, and I've been trying to not have. I've been trying to be prepared for this very moment as well. So my focus has not been on Pokemon.
I have the date. I just Googled it.
Okay.
It is the 17th of June. It comes out. So that's 7 days from now. That's next Wednesday.
Is it? Wow.
Okay, sorry people, show's not running.
Goodbye.
I'm going to be at home playing Pokemon now. Yep, that's what's happening there.
Plans already.
My plans for next weekend are cancelled. That's what I'm going to be doing. Wow, that's super exciting. Yeah, I don't have any more to say about that other than I'm like so hyped about Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion.
Yeah, because I really enjoyed. I played Pokemon Sword, and I really enjoyed the world that they built because it was just so much bigger and so much more to it that I'm really excited to see how they build on that.
When Pokemon, I think when it got to the DS and it like became not pixel 2D anymore, that's when I sort of had this huge realization that games were taking on this other worldly realm that I was so far-fetched from my childhood days playing like Pokemon Crystal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That I went, oh my goodness. Now I can really fully customize my character and I can be like whatever I want to be and dress how I want to be, and there's stores to buy clothes, and I got so into it. The first thing that I always do too when I get a new Pokemon game is find where I can get oh my goodness, I've forgotten the name of the thing that basically doubles the cash you receive from everything. There's an item you can attach.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Look, you know what? I'm going to look it up, and we'll get back to it. It is now come to the end of Zahra and I's time here tonight on Z Games. Have you had fun?
I have had a lot of fun.
All the hysterical laughing at nonsense. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just been good vibes. We've just been jazzing.
We've been jazzing, yes. That was the selling point. When I was chatting to you to see if you were suited, you said we're jazzing, and I went, I like that more than vibing, so jazzing's a thing. Hashtag jazzing, make sure that trends, people. Thank you. Yeah, well, we've had a lot of fun tonight, talking about lots of different things, and getting to know Zahra, who's now an official Z Games crew member, part of the gang, part of the fam. They're in. I'm happy.
I've been adopted.
You've been adopted. Yeah. Tell your mum I'm so sorry, but
sorry, Mum.
You're ours now.
Yeah. Just I can still visit on Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
That's fine. I don't have enough food. I'm not paying for food. What? Go back. No. Yes, and actually soon we're all having a bit of a catch-up and all meeting and greeting each other safely, socially appropriately, people. Socially
being
appropriate.
very responsible.
Mm-hmm, being socially appropriate. And and over the next month or so, you'll get to know some new voices, and I'm really excited. But yeah, it's cool. I'm so happy.
I'm looking forward to meeting the rest of the crew.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're going to play pizza, play some games. It's going to be great. Sorry, everyone out there, you can't jump in on that, but... we're going to have fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. You can't be part of it.
We'll tell you about it.
Yeah. So then you know that you weren't a part of it.
Yeah, that way you don't feel left out. Okay, whatever. We probably should wrap this up now. So thanks everyone for tuning in to Zed Games. Look forward to chatting to you again soon. Have a good night and bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Zed Games. If you'd like to listen to more, check out our podcast on Spotify or follow us on social media at ZED Games AU. See you next time.